So, just the other week, I was going for a follow-up appointment at the optometrist. I'd seen some spots in my eyes and they said, keep an eye on it and come back to us. Now, before I went back, I'd noticed a sort of very slight shadow starting to appear in my eye. And I thought, okay, I better go and get that checked out. So I did, I went along, and it was one of those funny moments. The optometrist started examining my eyes, and then suddenly, with a very serious face, kind of moved away from the equipment, moved all the equipment away from me, and said, you have to have surgery tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get you into Spokane, which is 75 miles away, but if you can't get in there, and they've been rather full recently, you're going to have to go to Boise or to Seattle or to Portland. She said, I can see what appears to be a tear in your retina, and she says you're going to need a surgery tomorrow. Well, to cut a long story short, I was able to get an appointment the next morning in Spokane, and Kate, who had only just returned back to Walla Walla, drove back up, dumped the dog off with Angelo, and took me up to Spokane, to the Spokane Eye Clinic, and they looked at me, they examined me, and then they said, yes, you've actually got a detached retina and we need to operate today. And I have to admit, I was a bit nervous. It was one of those shocking pieces of news, and you think, can this really be happening to me? You know, they were talking about options, including putting a gas bubble in my eye and putting a metal plate around my eye. And I was a bit nervous, and I just said, doctor, just do what you think is right. You're the expert here. So I had time to go for lunch. Unfortunately, at the ramen place, we ordered food and they lost the order. So I wound up eating a cold noodle salad with peanuts, and it was not very good, but they didn't charge us for it. So there was that. Yay! Went back to the hospital and they did the operation. And of course, you're awake the whole time. I was kind of laughing and joking because you're on some happy pills, but yeah, it was a funny experience. After I left, they patched up my eye, and it was some sort of cyborgy looking thing, sort of white in the middle and blue around the outside and white tape. And I was like, I took a photo of it and posted a selfie, and I said, well, I wanted a pirate patch, but this will have to do. Anyway, I went back there for a follow-up next week. I still can't see out of the eye, and that's why I've got the equivalent of an eye patch on. But they said things are coming along and it should be okay. Still be careful, but it's all looking like it's healing really well. So hopefully soon this will be off. But I thought, in honor of my pirate patch wish, which I finally satisfied today by going to buy this thing, I would make a cocktail that would had a strong pirate theme. And I looked them up, and there wasn't anything that I had the ingredients for, apart from this one that I found on Difford's, which is called the Blackbeard. And they describe it as a kind of studenty drink, and I could see that, but that it's actually not bad. And you know what? Not bad seems good enough to celebrate the fact that the operation hopefully was a success. Still keeping my fingers crossed on that one. But also I'm finally getting to wear a pirate patch. And it's a super easy drink to make. There is one liquor in it, and it is, of course, got to be rum, and it's Bacardi, not Bacardi, what am I talking about? It's owned by the same people, Havana Club. It's specified this specific white rum, although to be perfectly honest, you can use any white rum, or probably any rum you have in the house. It doesn't really matter. But you need, well, measuring with just one eye is a bit funny, but I think I can do it. Can I make it in the glass though? 2 ounces of Havana Club or any other white rum, then a pint of stout. I just happen to have this milk stout in by Left Hand Brewing. It's a milk stout, but that's the kind of stout that I actually like, it turns out. It's one of those nitro ones, so you hear it all fizzing away in the bottom from the widget, and you simply pour that into your glass. Now, luckily I had a 20-ounce pint glass in the house, because this is 16 ounces because it's an American pint, not a UK pint. So it's well, and then the measurements are also kind of tricky. British pint, imperial pint is 20 ounces, but an American ounce is somewhat bigger than the British ounce, so it's about 19 ounces would make up 20. Yeah, anyway, it's all a bit confusing measurements. Hey, I wonder how many teaspoons or cups of beer are in this, or how many fathoms I've got to, whatever. American measurements, don't get me started. But here we go. This is actually American pirate stuff, because you add into it a splash of Coke or any other cola. But I happen to have one of these little Coca Colas from camping in the summer. You just put a little splash of that in the top. It's going to make it extra fizzy and I'm sure extra delicious. Let's see what we've got. That'll put hairs on your chest or on your eyeball or wherever else. Cheers.